Yo, yo, yo. What is up, guys? It is I. I am back with another Warhammer 40k video. Today we're venturing into another YouTuber who was kind enough. He responded to my message on Gmail, and Mr. Major Kill allowed me to react to his content, and I'm very grateful. And I opened up his YouTube catalog and I saw a man is pumping a lot of Warhammer War videos. I personally have no idea what can I expect from him. So when I was browsing his content, I saw he made a video about which Chaos God is better to pledge your alliance to, and I thought this could be an interesting video. Since I'm honestly interested in maybe there's something I don't know about. And as always, before we start, original video is pinned in the description. And I also was thinking about it a lot. So there's like 4 Chaos God. I think there's a 5th one being made. I heard rumors, but so there's like Khorne, Slaanesh, Nurgle, and Tzeentch. And it would be fun for me to say which Chaos God I think I would align with before the video, and let's see if I change my mind after the video. So I think first of all, joining Khorne would be like too much work, so I'm sorry. Khorne is not for me. The second would be also Slaanesh. I think I'm too introverted to that kind of stuff, so those two are out, and that leaves us with Nurgle, who is Stagnation, which is basically kinda me, mine, and Tzeentch. And I'm sad to say I'm probably lingering a lot towards Mr. Nurgle. So yeah, let's see if that changes by the end of his video.
G'day guys and gal. Recently we discussed if there was actually a valid and reasonable justification for selling your soul to the forces of hell, and surprisingly there actually was for some people. Straight up, many Chaos cultists and even Space Marines join Chaos for a solid reason. You can hate them for it, but you can't sit there in confusion, scratching your balls and then sniffing the hand that you just scratched them with. But like in most situations, it's important to talk about diversity. Each Chaos God is wildly different to the others, hence serving one Chaos God will net you an entirely
I keep forgetting also, can't you just worship all of them? Like, I would then worship Tzeentch and Nurgle at the same
different
time.
experience than if you were serving another. Chaos Gods don't really care about equality. It's not really on their priorities beyond equally accepting and soul raping everyone regardless of their race and gender. So serving some Chaos Gods
I did not expect the language, but okay.
will net you a better time overall than serving others. I mean, it does depend on your preference, but there are some pretty clear benefits some gods have over the others. Before we get started, I want to quickly bring up something that I said a week or two ago. With the new Eldar models being unveiled, they look dope by the way, I'm definitely blowing this month's Patreon check on them.
Wow.
Business expense, I had a keen eye out for the new Margan Ra model, as I said that if it was a good model and a great upgrade on the previous model, which was older than an old man's sack, then I would take down my Space Elf Deathlord that was designed as a modernized and proportionate proxy of the old model, as well as the artworks. Here's the thing. The new Margan Ra is great, but it feels more like Margan Ra's brother, not him. They've given him a hood and they've made him more like a speedy, agile dude, instead of the unshakable Doomslayer Chad that he
still
should
looks
be.
cool.
So as such, whilst I love the new model, I'm going to leave Space Elf Deathlord up on the Magekill mini store for the Eldar players that wanted more of a straightforward remaster of the old model rather than a reboot. Today we'll go over what joining each of the Chaos Gods looks like, detailing the pros and cons of each, before deciding which would be best for the average person to sell their soul to. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's start with Khorne, as if I mentioned Slaanesh this early in the video, it'll probably get age restricted like all my other Slaanesh videos. In a setting called Warhammer, the god of war features quite a lot, and surprisingly, he's actually probably not the worst to join.
Really?
First and foremost, Khorne isn't a conniving little shit that will fuck you over for a laugh, like Slaanesh and Titsnitch.
I guess I didn't think that through like before. I think if you join Khorne, that's really straightforward. You don't know what you're gonna get with Nurgle and Tzeentch, damn.
Would. You know what you're getting with Khorne, no catches or hidden consequences. Khorne isn't big on mutating his followers. He doesn't turn you into a blob or give you tentacles and shit. Basic Khornite followers will grow larger muscles, denser bones, and heightened senses, but only the most revered and dedicated of Khorne's champions will begin to grow small horns and get a bit more demony. So if you were worried about your appearance changing, Khorne has got your back. I mean, you might have to carve his symbol into your flesh, but that's aside the point. The initial stages of worshipping Khorne are quite nice. Sure, Khorne is the god of blood and war, but he's also the god of martial prowess, honor, and bravery. Your initial boons will be subtle and positive. You'll become a better warrior, more confident, a better leader. As Khorne also despises magic and sees it as dishonorable, he grants his followers a degree of protection from it. This is how, in fantasy, it took 12 chosen Bloodthirsters to temporarily take down Lord Kroak, and in an alternate 40k timeline, it was a Bloodthirster who was able to strike down the Golden Throne. None of the other gods grant this kind of magical protection that Khorne does, hence he is always the one to take down the overpowered magical raid boss.
Okay, so I also have to consider that each Chaos God is like given buff, so you basically become stronger and immune basically to like simple magic.
With a lot of discipline, you can maintain this subtly powered Khornite state, but eventually the bloodthirst will get to you. You'll basically develop Tourette's, but instead of yelling out funny cooked shit, you'll kill something. Khornite warbands capture slaves purely so that during long interstellar travel, they have shit to kill on the way. The point is that joining Khorne takes a degenerative toll. Take Kharn as an example. Kharn started off as a bro. He faced down his sulking Primarch and convinced him to lead the Legion. He became best buds with Argyll Tal. He kicked the shit out of Erebus for betraying Argyll, and he was overall seen as the spiritual leader of the World Eaters. However, the influence of Khorne fried his brain, and it brought him down to a point where he's now a literal mindless berserker. Like he's almost a meme. He never really talks now, kills his own warriors, gets killed and revived, and is in a constant state of rage. He's basically Chaos's version of the Doomslayer. Whilst the Doomslayer is awesome, he isn't a very deep or talkative character. So while the start of your worship to Khorne will be pleasant, the deeper you go, the more of your sanity you'll lose until you either die or claim enough skulls to become a demon prince. In saying that, there are some World Eaters who have reduced their Khorne worship a bit, so that they can maintain a level head, and they don't descend into complete blood-fueled madness. So what about Titsnitch? Is he a bad...
So basically, it all starts very simple, but by the end of it, you're like basically a mindless prick, I guess. You know, he had me in the beginning, and then it's just like, maybe not Khorne.
Option to join with. The thing about Titsnitch is that serving him will be either really fucking good or really fucking bad, depending on which weird mood Titsnitch is in. With Khorne, it's obvious what he wants. Go kill shit and he'll give you a pat on the head. Run from a battle and he'll stomp on your balls. But with Titsnitch, not even he knows what he wants half the time. Followers of Titsnitch that follow his exact design and ambitions might find themselves cursed to become a chaos spawn for the laughs, and his other followers that seek to be free of his influence and even attempt to undermine him might find themselves given boons and genuine gifts from Titsnitch. A good example is Ahriman. Ahriman actually has his shit together and is one of the most sane Chaos champions around, yet he is constantly seeking ways to learn more about Titsnitch to shake off its influence and give himself greater free will. As a response to this, Titsnitch gives him power boosts and even prevents Magnus from killing him. Titsnitch is just here for a laugh, you know, and I can respect that. Unfortunately, due to Titsnitch being the most immersed in the warp out of all the Chaos gods, following him incurs a much higher risk of random mutation as compared to the other gods. As such, you might wake up one day to find your foot, fingers, or cock turned into tentacles. Titsnitch does this because, once again, he finds it funny. You can either accept these gifts, or, as some Chaos Marines do, cut them off to prevent further mutation. Good thing they never use their cocks, otherwise that would be a very rough short end of the
Oh
stick.
my
So when it comes
god.
to praising Titsnitch, you'll either have a great time full of adventure, knowledge, power, and destiny, or you'll get turned into a mindless chaos spawn, or both. Such is the whim of Titsnitch. So
Okay, I don't know, like, in the beginning I also said Nurgle and Teach, maybe not Zinch.
now that we're further in the video, we can talk about Slaanesh. Interestingly enough, following Slaanesh does the most to mirror real life. Allow me to explain. Slaanesh is sex, drugs, and rock and roll for sure, which is awesome. But if you say that to someone who takes Warhammer lore way too seriously, then they'll get mad and they'll be like, nah, Slaanesh is about
Oh,
excess and addiction,
oh,
which is correct, but come on you fucking neckbeard, let me enjoy the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. After all, this is an official model of a Slaaneshi follower. Back to my original point, the excessive and addictive nature of Slaanesh can be seen in our society by drug addicts all the time. There are numerous cases of drug addicts robbing and even killing their own family members in order to take their cash and buy more drugs.
Oh
The
no.
deeper your drug addiction goes, the more empty and depraved you become. Your appearance becomes a twisted shadow of its former self. It always starts the same. A small addiction here with big highs only has a minor impact on your life, but eventually you either stop or you end up as one of those rambling junkies on the street that everyone avoids looking at. I'm talking about shit like meth and heroin here, not the other stuff. The other stuff's fine. For Slaanesh, you basically take everything I said and you times it by 10 with a side serving of evil. The highs are way taller and the lows are way deeper. To get the hit, it becomes less about doing more drugs and more about what you do while you're on those drugs. Deplorable evil shit becomes your new norm. Take Sigvald for example. He looks pretty fresh, seems to be
does.
sane, and doesn't look corrupted. But then you learn that not only is he the world's #1 rapist, but he also eats the women he rapes while he's raping them.
I wish I didn't hear that.
Very solid. The Emperor's Children are also one of the weakest legions in the galaxy due to how depraved and disorganized they are. They struggle to replenish their numbers or even win battles because of how all over the place each individual member is.
Really?
They'd rather spend their time railing space cocaine instead of doing anything productive for chaos. When you follow Slaanesh, all your morals and values go out the door. Slaanesh will actually reward you with bigger highs for each moral and value you break in her name.
So that's how Slaanesh brainwashes them.
At least with Khorne, you can maintain your honor and courage despite your slipping sanity. Titsnitch won't try to force you to sodomize your daughter, and Nurgle doesn't even know what a penis is. Slaanesh, on the other hand, will actively try break you down until you are a literal gremlin, a stain on humanity's legacy. But hey, you get to have hectic orgies, so it's pretty balanced out. And finally, Nurgle. Joining
Yeah, Slaanesh is definitely not the way to go.
Nurgle is pretty straightforward and on a superficial level looks kinda terrible. You get bloated and smelly. Your rotting body becomes home to demonic insects as your organs twist and turn. Everyone except other Nurglite followers will shun you. But here's the thing, as a Nurglite follower, you don't feel any of the pain or discomfort from how gross you are. You feel bliss and a feeling of satisfaction and content. You also don't go insane. Like there was a story about a guardsman who was killed and brought back to life as a Nurglite zombie. Even he still maintained his brain, and he actually tried to rejoin the loyalist guardsmen to help them fight
We probably shot him dead.
Nurgle, but he was shot at when he approached them for obvious reasons. Nurgle is also the only god that actually cares about his followers, and he sees them as his children, whilst the other Chaos gods see their followers as tools and minions. This is why Nurglite demons always seem so happy. Daddy loves them. Nurglite followers will also gain a crazy amount of durability due to the fact that their organs no longer have any useful function, and their bodies are instead
So basically like orcs. Orcs are like fungus, so you're in a sense, well, not like, maybe not 100% like orcs, but you just have organs just because. They don't serve any purpose though.
sustained purely through Nurgle's warp magic. To prove this, there was a scene where a couple plague marines are cut off from the warp, and they instantly begin screaming in horror at what they've become before they painfully die due to how fucked their bodies are. So yeah, once you join Nurgle, there really isn't
Oh, so until you still have some sort of maintain like connection to the warp, it's all good. The moment, let's just say, like those blanks come, they cut off the warp, you basically die from all the bad stuff that happened to your body. That's
any way
horrible.
to unjoin him. I mean, there's not really any way to unjoin any of them, but for Nurgle, it's guaranteed death to do so. Basically, if you join Nurgle, you get love, community, no suffering, and eternal life, but you become the most unfuckable thing in the entire galaxy. So that's the 4 options. Or is it? Is there another option which basically shits on all the others? Yes. Chaos Undivided. When you become a
Okay, that's like the 5th option where you can join all of
follower of
them.
Chaos Undivided, you gain the power of all 4 Chaos Gods without all the negatives, as technically none of them own your soul, hence they can't do their wacky bullshit to you. Examples include Abaddon, Lorgar, and Perturabo. All 3 are slaves to Chaos, there is no doubt about that, but they are genuinely free to follow their own agendas and interpret Chaos how they will. They won't be forced to do anything that they don't really want to do. This is a delicate balancing act though. Being a successful follower of Chaos Undivided means you're useful to Chaos as a whole without helping one god more than the others. The reason why you are safe and free is because if a Chaos God tries to fuck with you, the others will smack them, as they would see it as infringing on their shared property. You also don't get access to the specialized power of each Chaos God, so you won't have the durability of Nurgle, the strength of Khorne, the knowledge of Titsnitch, and the Cock of Slaanesh,
But what do you get in return,
to
though?
as great as a degree as a dedicated follower would. But that's not a huge deal, so as long as you have the will to maintain your belief in Undivided. If so, then this is by far the best option. If you can't be Undivided, then honestly, Nurgle isn't the worst option. It's a pretty good life, and there's no mirrors in Nurgle's garden, so you don't have to see yourself. Titsnitch is also a good option as long as you don't get turned into a Chaos Spawn, whilst Khorne and Slaanesh are a bit rough, due to the fact that the longer that you worship them for, the more
They're more
degenerative you
crazy.
become,
Yeah.
even though the start of Slaanesh and Khorne's worship is the best. A few years in, and you'll be cooked as. When it comes to selling your soul to hell, you're allowed to be picky, so hopefully now when chaos comes knocking, you can make an educated decision about your future. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be.
Oh
Only
my
$1 per month
God,
to give you
what the
access to a
fuck
boatload
is
of
that?
undivided hentai. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more diverse content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
What a crazy first video to see. I can say now I'm more cultured. So I still think that obviously, listen, let's be real. Like the best choice is obviously Chaos Undivided because you know, but I don't think you'd you want like no Chaos Undivided. There are only 4 gods. Which one do you choose? I'm sadly to say, guys, but I'm probably still choosing Nurgle. I'm afraid of pain, and if that guy can make it disappear, then that be it. The Khorne is probably would be my second pick, I guess. Then would probably go Slaanesh and Tzeentch because I don't know. I don't like the fact that Tzeentch can do that to you, you know, for funsies. Crazy video. As always, it's pinned in the description. Thank you for watching the reaction. Have a nice day. Ciao, cacao.